It'll push you over the edge and make you the champion. Pays over $18,000 to win second, over $14,000 to win third. That's not a bonus. That's the frosting on the cake you baked well. Here it is. Kermit, Texas, Jim Sharp. Ride! Los Vegas ride with him! Let's see! We got a start, Sam. There's Miles Taylor and Rob Smith to take him away. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to roar one time for a cowboy that deserves it, let's carry him on to 10 in a row at 1990.
Boy, that kid can sit up there and take charge.
Well, when they buck like that, it's worth a backflip from Butch and the Copenhagen Skull Pro Rodeo School. Boards, let's see where we're going to frost it tonight at 83. You've got a winner.
Bob, 83 is going to be the number one time in our first go-round tonight. How about it, audience? Jimmy Sharp, 83 points.
His first trip to the national finals, our rookie of the year. This may be our first qualified ride. Sharp's got him. He's got him. He's going to get him. Yeah. You don't let that kid go that far, Bob. If the bull gives him that much clock, he's going to make it.
A few moments ago, our in-house announcers, Randy Corley, your famous son-in-law, and Dwayne Peters were talking about if we have to wait till there's only 5 left, Jim Sharp from Kermit, Texas, the hottest rookie ever in the history of bull riders, may be the man to break the ice, and an 86-point ride is what we're talking about. Now, Dwayne and Randy had our audience set up for it, but ladies and gentlemen at home, may Adley and I just have a moment of your time to predict something that Jimmy Sharp may be another Donnie Gay, if there is to be one in the history of rodeo in the next 10. All that they can do to help another man will come back in their favor. This youngster is more than phenomenal. He's solid, he's cool, and at 21 years old, what will he be like at the age of 25?
He bounced back. That bull is Kingman of Stevens Brothers. That's a bad bull to ride, and I think you can line up the top 15 bulls.
Here he is, Jim Sharp, on Sports Machine of the B-Bar-J Rodeo Company. Oh, yeah, we got a good one dancing now. Look at this. Sits right up there and takes total charge of the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand to the leader for the world, Jim Sharp, Kermit, Texas. Bob, I tell you, these guys are riding tough, and look at these scores. We're going to have this tallied. 86 points for Jimmy Sharp tonight. Come on, Thomas and Mac. Let's hear some noise for that one. All right, it's time to catch. Watch him. Mr. Sharp is in the office, and this is how he does his daily work. Here he goes. Boy, I'll tell you what, some guys carry a briefcase on Wall Street. He carries a bull rope down the arena tunnel. Look at this kid. Mr. Amazing. How about a hand for Jim Sharp, Kermit, Texas, on the Karate Kid. Bob, he makes it look so easy all the time.
Oh, it is. There's nothing to it anyway. 77. We got a pair of them for you tonight, Jimmy. Nothing to it. All you got to do is just sit down and keep your mind about you. You guys got a ticket on the fence here? Huh? They got him. No problem. The bull's not that mean anyway. All right, we're back to
Kermit, Texas. Look out. Look out. Jim, stay with it. Help him, audience. Texas Cowboy. Look at that. Makes it look just like another day at the office for that young man as Rob Smith smiles there.
Oh, watch him, boy.
Watch Lem Cooler. Be careful. Keep your head down.
He's gone.
Leaving.
He's gone, Butch.
Let's give a nice hand to Jimmy Sharp this evening on that bull, Dr. Doom's Gold. See what the Wrangler Pro officials have. 75 points. 75, Bob Tallman, who was the high mark for this evening?
Well, as you look back to an 81, the man who is in the lead for the average needed the catch-up. This now will only be a hair over to go round the way, separating Jim Sharp, Clint Bronger, and Tuff Hedeman. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough time with...
Here we you mentioned earlier, Hadley, in the bull riding, that average is going to be paid maybe even clear down to someone's going to get bucked off maybe 2 bulls and still be in it.
Well, as you stated, he bucked off of only 1, so now he's 6 for 7. He'll be in the top 4 in the average. Sharp makes it look so easy. I sometimes think that the bull doesn't get the credit that he should when Sharp rides him, because the bull really doesn't look like he has that many good moves on him. 69 is a much lower score than he'd hoped for. We have that big 87. We have an 81. We have an 80. We have a 78. We got the altitude. We need to ride this bull. What do you got to do? Jimmy Sharp, one of the best bull riders I've ever seen. I think we're going to get a score. He just needs to make it a little longer. He is a cowboy. That's Jim Sutton's 5-pound skull. That is a red bull. Now, I think that Jimmy Sharp is going to need to be at least in the top 4. That means that he needs to have a score of 78 or better here to have any shot at all at the world title after what Curry has done to everybody.
86 points. Oh, and look, 86 points. You talk about put the pressure to a guy. Don't pressure Jim Sharp, because he will not get bucked off. Wow.
Now the 86 moves him to second place in the go-around.
On to see if this man can repeat it. The first man ever to do so a year ago. He's got to do it on this one to get it done again this year. That's going to be no problem, I can tell you right now, for the first one. Look at it. Whoa!
No problem for Jim Sharp.
Let's make
But
something
the bull was trying to make sure that it didn't happen.
Let's just write it down. That's 11 bulls in a row at a National Finals Rodeo for Jim Sharp, our reigning champion of the world. Sharp did it on Cobra out of the Mesquite Rodeo Company.
So nonchalant. Here we go again. Watch Jim Sharp. He just has such great natural ability. And right there, he could have gotten him over into his hands if there's nearly no recovery. Coming back into his hands, you know, he's going to open up with that right foot and get some more points. Watch that upper body style.
It is
composure,
77
whistle time, get off. It's all over.
Leg muscles, because he's a one-holt bull rider.
He has a lot more power than the small stature in the body would appear that he has. And that's why he has it.
Man.
You see him get his upper body clear down on the side of the bull, and in the very next jump recover and step straight back up in the middle of him. This guy, no doubt, is great.
Randall Hamilton, the Chief Executive Officer of Award Design Metals. Do you know that since 1987 at the NFR, that is the 16th consecutive bull ride for this man.
81 points for Jim Sharp. He did it in style, too.
What a ride. What a ride. We were talking about him keeping his feet in him. I guess he did.
Yeah, they got a hold of him. They don't want that bull to jump and kick and hurt him in there. Right there, into his hand. It's going to be a mighty good ride. Got one going. Now, he did open up one jump. That's good. Number 17 for Mr. Sharp in a row at the National Finals Rodeo, which in itself is a phenomenal event.
And you know, he wears a buckle that's given by Award Design Metals for the man that can ride all 10 bulls. And they also put $1,000 a year in that pot. And this kid is after it again.
That last move right there, when he dipped that left shoulder to get inside in there just right, it's a hard move to do without slapping the bull. 83 points for Jim Sharp. A very tight bull riding tonight.
Well, the guys that are sharing in it right now, Fournier, Lamb.
Good. He's an amazing bull rider, and this bull's going to do it right here, right quick. Here he comes. Boy, Jim's in good shape. Look at this bull travel a little bit. Boy, that's where he usually gets the guy. Boy, Jim, no problem at all. He's making him look easy. What a great ride.
What do you say, folks? There's nobody like
He had him. You could see that by about the second turn.
Well, you know, Hadley, a lot of these bulls, this bull bucks most of his guys off that second or third jump. And a lot of times on a bull that bucks a lot of people off, if you see a guy like Jim Sharp riding, that it breaks the bull's game plan. In other words, you watch this right here. Boy, this bull's really rank right here. Turns back. Now watch him travel in this spin a little bit, back up. Now right here, this bull thinks, my gosh, this guy's still on me, and it kind of breaks his game plan a little bit.
Yep,
Great ride.
Yes, it was a good ride. It's 78 points on the ride. 78. That will move him, I believe, to fourth place. And when he did that last year, he was the first man in the 31-year history of this event that has ever done it. It would be unreal should he do it again.
Well, right there, he got Jim into his hand. Look out. Now, Jim makes a great recovery. I think he's got him. Come on. He's doing the right job. Jim Sharp, and I was a little worried several times during that ride for him.
Boy.
What is that now? Figuring that up, that is 19 bulls in a row. 19 in a row that he has ridden at the National Finals. He rode the last 4 in '87, all of them in '88. He's ridden 5 here, and he has scored a big score on this one. 84 for Jim Sharp. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. He is putting the pressure on Tough Hedeman.
Well, he sure is, and he is a bull riding machine right there. But Tough's not just laying over and giving up either, as you can see the way he rode tonight.
Those two guys right there, Ty Murray and Jim Sharp, they were roommates in college, and they live in the same part of the country, about 40 miles apart. They're happy.
They keep trying.
All right, we got to have this one. Here's the man that rode his last 4 bulls in the '87 finals, all 10 of them in '88. He has ridden 5 more here, so that means what? 14, 19.
They're just not going to buck him off is what it means, Hadley.
When is Sunday, Jim?
Well, they discussed it. They discussed it.
Hey, this is real life right here, folks. That's the name of the bull.
Well, that's the name of the bull. That's what it may become his name if the bull bucks him off. Now, you know that if Jim rides this bull, that's going to be 6 in a row. He'd have 4 left. I predict that they might even give him a standing ovation here. You never know. By the way, Bronger has moved to 3rd in the average as a result of the things that have happened to everybody else, so he's looking good.
Well, Jim's got a tough bull. This bull comes from Dan Russell's string, Western Rodeo. Turns back right there. He's traveling in that spin. Jim, no problem, though. He's going to ride another one.
Yeah, he is.
He's got him tapped off. Super ride.
Number 6. Oh, the crowd's looking to see if he's all right. And Jim says it's all in a day's work. 20 bulls in a row he has ridden successfully in his 3 trips to the National Finals Rodeo. Man, oh man, what a record by this guy. 74 is the score for Jim Sharp. 74. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Sharp is a man that stays in the lead of the average, closes in on Hedeman. And you know, we have ridden 12 of the 14 in round number 6. Successful ride. But let's talk about the 4 best ones. David Bailey, Joe Wimberly, Gary Toole are in it. Clint Bronger gets a piece of the action. That's the bull riding here in round number 6.
Arizona Copenhagen from the Powder River Rodeo. That's what's on his mind. He just wants to get a score, and he's in the middle of it right here.
He'll ride him.
Right there and doesn't mess up. That bull's wanting him in that spin a little bit. Takes him a little bit. Jim Sharp has rode another bull at the National Finals Rodeo. Great job.
Well, I'll tell you, that's 21 in a row for this guy. In 1987, he rode the last 4 consecutive bulls. In '88, he rode all 10, something no one else had ever done. He has ridden 7 more here. That is a 21 string going for this guy. Well, I'll tell you what, he makes it look so easy. You know that?
Well, he does. He's just got that kind of a style. I'm sure he doesn't feel like it's easy, but for 75 points, nice job for Jim Sharp.
It is a good one, 75, and the money is split up in round number 7, kind of like this. Well, some awful good bull rides. We watched some 80 scores. We watched an 81 score. Charlie Sampson, he'll get the number 1 hole. Marty Stannard and Tony Lambert share the next 2. And Tough Hedeman.
I know he'd like to make it 10 for 10 again in '89. Let's see what he does. Here we go.
Fans are watching him. Let's see what happens.
Oh, Jim. Oh, boy, he makes it look easy. Oh, he's in trouble. Look out. Look out. Oh, now, let me explain something.
Photo finish.
The judges have a stopwatch in their hand. Now, their job is to Anytime a cowboy is disqualified, they stop the stopwatch. If it reaches 8 seconds or more, they'll give him a score.
We're going to get
it's in their hands, and he is going to get a score. That's as close as I think Jim Sharp ever wants it to be.
Well, if their hand is in the rope, they've not touched him with the free hand. He is 78. I'll tell you something else about that ride. He is going to win the go-round is what he's going to do. Now watch this closely. Again, if his hand is in the rope, his body has not touched the ground, his free hand has not touched the bull, that's the qualification. You can be upside down and arm length away from the bull when that horn blows. Watch it closely. The officials, they have the bird's eye view. They're also experts in our game, and as Butch told you, they carry the stopwatch. Well, it's getting close to the trouble area, but I'll tell you where the trouble area is in 13 other men that are trying to catch him because he's just won the go-round with that ride right there. He still had his hand in the rope long enough. Williams, Bronger, and Bailey.
That's a look at the bull riding, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
In round number 7, and he got out of it.
Well, I think he'll fit Jim, though. This bull is a ranked bull, but I don't think he's as ranked as some of them we've seen. Jim's making a great ride, I tell you. No problem tonight. Again, we see 9 bulls rode in a row by Jim Sharp. I love it.
If you think the city of Las Vegas doesn't know what's going on here, I'll tell you.
I talked to Wendell Hamill before the performance today in that beautiful award-designed metal buckle and the money. He said he would be more than happy to give it 2 years in a row to this man.
Jim Sharp has now ridden 9, and he is a 79 score. So we'll end round 9 with Hedeman still in the lead of the world title, but Sharp is close on his heels. Sharp's in the lead of the average. Hedeman second, Bronger third, Williams and Fournier. That's the way they'll be. But here's the way they divide up the money. Williams gets the round with a great, great ride. Hedeman is in there. Sharp is in there. You see they won the same amount. Bronger and Fournier. Well, that's the bull riding in round 9 here at the National Finals Rodeo.
Become a world champion someday. Not a big bull, but he can be fast. So can Sharp. Look at him make that look easy. Nice work. Rob Smith and Michael Horton are there for the protection of the cowboy. The Okie Ted Kimsey's inside of the barrel out there. Just to mention our credits for these guys.
This was a boy that they figured. I was watching this bull. It's got to be hard to ride because he's so narrow. Really nothing to get a hold of, Randy. And it's almost like riding a Mexican fighting bull. But Jim obviously can ride any kind of bull they run under him. And you see here the bull's bucking hard, and that's going to reflect a good score.
Gets that whip coming around.
Well, the judges liked him 80 points, Randy.
Johnny's Wrangler. Out of the barn string, the bull comes from Iowa. Jimmy Sharp. Now, Randy, you were talking about bull riding styles. What about this guy? He doesn't very often move those feet. Kind of a one-hold rider, huh?
Kind of maybe the shades of Ronnie Rawson or something in that formula with that foothold that he uses. You know, Tuff Hedeman said 2 years ago that they're going to have a hard time keeping this man from becoming a world's champion someday.
I'm going to have to go with Tuff's predictions on this guy. Jim Sharp makes it look so easy. I guess the fans have said from time to time that they probably figure it's cost him a point or two, but I'm not sure that's true. I think our officials know what they're looking at.
Ed, you're looking awful good, buddy. We're back to action in the arena.
And it's Jimmy Sharp. The Texas Flash is riding now. Kermit, Texas comes alive as he does.
Just a moment ago, as Ted News is talking about the imaginary line, I'd like to know where in the heck do you have time to figure it out when you've got a ton of fun underneath you going nuts like that? How did
Jimmy, in a previous round, got his bell rung pretty hard, and I hope he's all right now.
Whoa! Look at this. That's what you call sun fishing, isn't it?
He's got to ride him, Randy.
He is. Jim Sharp's not coming down this
All
time.
right. Now, that is going to be very interesting to see how they mark that bull. That bull is extremely hard to ride. He's not a showy bull. He didn't spin. I think he's going to get a lot of points, Randy.
Well, he better, or the judges better find a back door out of here that nobody knows about, because the fans love that.
Sammy, maybe a little bit later you can grab Jimmy and see how his injury from the other night was.
I'll do that, Bob.
You're not the right official be quiet. They'll gather the score now. We're using 4 officials. It is an 85 score on the ride, and my compadre right here, Bob Edson, has called it.
Let's watch. These judges are extremely, obviously, this is a full-time professional judges. Look at that move right there, and again he does it.
Man.
Ooh, come close to touching him right there. The bull doesn't weaken now. He turns back right here, and again gives him that sunfish. And that's riding up, as they say, right there. Great bull ride by Jimmy Sharp.
Here's Wasey Cathy now.
One for him and all of his fans. 5-Star Rodeo Company.
Whoa, nice recovery one time already.
Down in the inside a little bit, but he stayed up there and recovered, hung in there, and probably going to get a good mark. And more importantly, he's got another bull covered.
Oh, that bull had Rob Smith banging him alongside of the chute. Bull said, I'm mad. I'm not supposed to be ridden. I want to hit somebody. There's a look at Jim Sharp. Watch this ride again. You mentioned dropping to the inside. He'll do it right off the bat. Right there. See him get clear against the left side. Now he pulled himself right back up. And a little later on in the ride, he's going to do it again.
Yeah, I anticipated that bull turning back. Almost jumped too far down in there, and he's been into his hand the whole ride. Probably reflect a point or two on his score.
78 points for Jim Sharp. Dollars yet in the average payoff as well. Now, if he can maintain that position or better that, of course, you better it, the bonus goes up.
Ooh. Daredevil Classic. Harper and Morgan own the bull.
Well, Peterman said he's a tough man to get on the ground. A year ago, he predicted that this man was going to be a world champion.
I think he will be.
Man, Smets was down that time.
Smets took a shot.
A real bad shot. You see him there, and he's hurt, and that man is tough to hurt. I've seen him down under bowls, literally knocked completely out on his feet. And look at this. It's going to take him about 10 seconds. Rob Smets is going to say, no, boys, I've got to stay here. My job is in this arena.
Boy, he's tough hound, isn't he?
As we look at Rob Smets' recovery right here, the report is good also from Ricky Lindsay. Things look good.
All right, John, thank you. And an update on Ricky's condition. If you failed to catch that, John reported from the sideline that it looks favorable at the moment. As we watch the re-ride, or the replay, I should say, by Jim Sharp, we also bring it in at a 78 score. And now we are 4 for 11. He's the kid that cracked her out last year, won Rookie of the Year honors. He's over 15,000 this year.
Dick-like blue, Jimmy. We mentioned earlier in the bareback riding, Hadley, about Chuck Loeb's win for Texas at the Calgary Stampede at $50,000. This youngster did it in the bull riding. And an hour and a half after the rodeo was over that day, he was standing by the rodeo office with a check about 2 foot, about 4 foot, a real one in his pocket for $50 grand, a bronze in his suitcase, and he said, any idea where I can get a cab? How do you get to the airport?
You learn early, don't you?
You bet.
I love his style. He can stay right on the rope. And 81 points from our officials. Jimmy Sharp goes into the lead.
Anything in this event.
That's right.
Come on, Jimmy.
How about Sharp? Boy, this kid can ride. He is so hard to throw off.
He's going to do it.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go out on a limb here and boast a little because I picked this particular match as one that was going to be one of the successful ones. I thought he could ride this bull called Danny Boy. If we have a chance to see that again, you'll notice that Danny Boy, in the first 3 seconds of the ride, gave Jim his very best shot. He took him.
That's what he normally does, and that is where he would 9 out of 10 times, on behalf of Dan Russell, have a little spring planting. Right about here is where he sets him up. See what he did? Now, Jimmy knew what he was going to do. He set his feet, leaned out as far as he could. Now, watch him right there. Reached and grabbed again. This kid can think, act, and ride. They're only marking him 73. The fans are upset. Folks, he's done something that 90% of the time won't happen.
You're right.
They brought him a long way. According to Brian McDonald, his exact words says this mousy-colored bull from Florida is a good one. You bet he's a good one. Watch him here. He's the yellow whale, and look at this kid spur him. Look at the outside foot. He's going to kick him till he coughs. He probably has no idea what he's just done. He's the most unconscious athlete in our industry today. This kid rides these bulls like a baby rides a tricycle. He gets on, gives them a lesson, and then just walks away with a grin on his face.
And just like Brian said, this cat will vacuum clean you after you're off of him if you don't look out, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, look at this boy riding now. 79 points. Well, they're not too impressed with that as far as the fans go, but maybe they didn't think the bull was as bad or hard to ride as Charlie Sampson's bull. Jimmy Sharp, 79. He'll now be second.
Worried about him in advance. I think it's hard to buck off. Look at this kid. Look at him ride. He does ride. If there's anything in the world that could cost this kid, it may be that he appears to ride them too easy. I don't think that our Wrangler pro officials are going to fall for that. I think that they know when a man rides a bull well. But he rides them so easy that it might fool you, huh?
Well, and with Rookie of the Year competition involved, too, a good resist all people. Boy, it is in there.
76 for Jim Sharp. You know, another good point, quite frankly, is that maybe Jim doesn't know the pressure of the NFR. Maybe it isn't bothered. He hasn't been there before. So, and you know, they wait to see the outcome of our go-round win. Boy, you talk about going down to the final wire. Now, this youngster from Kermit, Texas, has shown them what bull riding's really all about. Look at the grip that bull had in his front end. If we have a chance to see that again,
I hope we do.
We'll show the folks at home what we're talking about.
And for all of you youngsters that want to ride bulls like Jimmy Sharp, the rookie, as we talk about him, well, come 1987, there will be no more rookie. Watch this kid, the ability that he has. And he sits up over the top of him, watches every move. Look at the free arm. The upper part of the body balance totally in tune. Every move that he makes is like the perfect pedal on a rose. It's all just one. So beautiful, so beautiful. Kids, if you want to set your idols, why don't you set it on the hottest youngster in America today?
Let's watch another angle on this, Bob. Now watch the front of the bull drift. Look at him wave his front end. 80 is the score for Sharp. That is an amazing ride. That is a smooth ride is what it is.
They're getting a little wild in the Thomas Mack Arena tonight, Hadley, because our arena announcers, good friend Randy Corley, along with Dwayne Peters, are talking about the hero of heroes. They're
Bob Itson, but the man that's up right now, he's going to be my pick. I was interested in knowing what this kid would do when he came here. Jim Sharp of Kermit, Texas. I have not seen him 2 inches off of his rope all year long. Now, I know that Jim has had to buck off some bulls. He hasn't here yet. He's drawn Wasp of the Western Rodeo Company. And I guess one of the reasons I'll make this prediction, I'm going to try to qualify this, okay? First of all, Jim may not know as many bulls as some of the other bull riders. I don't think he's as worried about them in advance. I think it's hard to buck off. Look at this kid. Look at him ride. He does ride. If there's anything in the world that could cost this kid, it may be that he appears to ride them too easy. I don't think that our Wrangler pro officials are going to fall for that. I think that they know when a man rides a bull well. But he rides them so easy that it might fool you, huh?
Well, and with Rookie of the Year competition involved, too, a good resist all people. Boy, it is in there.
76 for Jim Sharp. You know, another good point, quite frankly, is that maybe Jim doesn't know the pressure of the NFR. Maybe it isn't bothered him. He hasn't been there before.